Hello, sweet, beautiful souls. Why do you have anxiety and how to dissolve it? This is an incredibly important topic, and I'm going to be sharing with you all, I believe, things that you have not heard in regards to anxiety, because this is truly a spiritual topic. This is a very much deeper topic than is talked about in our common narrative, in our Western way of healing, and even many of the alternative ways of healing. I believe that there are going to be encoded wisdom and teachings within this that are going to help you understand this on a much deeper level, on a soul level, so that you can truly transcend this. And I'm going to preface with this is not intended to be medical advice. So if you are very much struggling, please reach out to get support around this. So when it comes to anxiety, this is a really big topic and has been made out to be very complex and all of these things. And it can be a bit complex when we look at all of the nuances of what's causing it. However, I really want to break this down and make it a bit more simple, because everything is simple. The solutions are simple. And anytime someone tries to make something sound complex, it just doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And our currently shifting paradigm from very masculine into more feminine into ultimately balanced is the very masculine way to do things is make things more complex. That's the overcompensating masculine, is let's just make it really complex. Let's like dive into all of this science and all of the neurotransmitters and all of these things. And you know, I'm going to preface in saying that I also, oh my goodness, you guys, spent decades with chronic anxiety. Like I say that like I'm so old. I've spent what I would say a decade and a half with chronic anxiety. And that's really important, I think, to understand and know, because I finally am at a place where it's not there. It's not there. And when it does come, I know exactly how to know what it is and how to shift it. Okay. And that's the difference. That's the difference, is many people are living with this chronic, just like lingering, nagging. It's like an itch you can't ever scratch. I don't want that for anyone. Just because anxiety is common does not mean that it is normal nor acceptable. And I don't want you settling for this. I absolutely do not want you settling for this if you do not want to settle for this. This is not something that you have to manage. This is not something that you have to learn to deal with. We are going to eliminate this, okay? And if you're at a place, because if you're listening to this, like, your light is needed in the world, okay? Your light is needed in the world. And in order to be a light in the world, you need to be free of anxiety or anything else that is holding you back, okay? So let's get rid of this. And that begins with awareness. So why do we get anxiety? Now, I kind of want to break it down into like three ways that I see this. So when clients come to me and they say they have like chronic anxiety, or when they say they just have anxiety, I always ask a few other questions, because I think that this is really helpful to understand. So first of all, is it acute? Like something just happened recently and that's why you're anxious over? If that's the case, great. Let's shift the energy around that. And this is one of the, I don't want to say easiest, but it's like, it's a lot. It's very quick. Like something happened, and it doesn't matter how big it is, but if something recently happened, like you going through a breakup, divorce, some acute trauma just happened, and it's like you're really anxious over it, like a financial thing, you just found out this news, like whatever it is. So this is the first thing. We can shift it, rewrite that energy, shift the energy. The situation will shift as well as we work with the energy. The second type would be chronic. So like something happened in the past. So maybe when you were a child, you were abused, you had some type of sexual abuse, you had a traumatic childhood in any way, and it has continued on into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I've seen it. And I think my oldest client was in her late 80s. So and I'll never forget, oh my gosh, sweet woman, when we were in hypnotherapy, I didn't even know that that's what it was called. She was talking about her bassinet, and I was like, what's a bassinet? I had never heard about it, or I didn't know that term. So anyways, I've seen the whole rate. So she, in her 80s, we were healing a trauma from when she was in her bassinet, which, if you didn't know what it was, like me, that is a little crib. So anyways, she had a trauma that happened in her crib, in her bassinet, and 80 years old, still impacting her. Okay. So what happens when something impacts you at such a young age is you're going to continue to have that strand, that thread, impact you in other situations and circumstances. So it doesn't mean you're going to have that same issue happen, but that same energy is going to continue to happen throughout your life, whether it is in a relationship, in other relationships, in your money, in your health, whatever it is. So that's why root cause healing is so important. So that's the second way. The third way is going to be everything. Like everything makes you anxious, right? And this is what we're going to call dysregulation. This is your nervous system is just in either fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so everything is making you anxious. This is where I was at for many years of like pen drops. It would like set me like, I could feel my heart rate. Like I was so on edge all of the time, all the time. And now things like that happen, and I feel the peace within me, not like a pen drop, but like out walking, and like a car makes like a big noise. I used to be so jumpy, and it like my heart rate would go up, and I would like get scared so easily, and just like always on edge. Why does this happen? It's because we're in our nervous system is dysregulated. Now, the nervous system being dysregulated is going to cause anxiety. Okay. So a dysregulated nervous system it's not like the root cause. So it is the root cause, but what's causing the dysregulated nervous system? And so healing the nervous system is so key. It's so key. And there are so many ways to heal the nervous system, but this is ultimately going to be the root cause. But so what's the root cause of the dysregulated nervous system, if that makes sense? So why is someone having a dysregulated nervous system? Well, but let's first dive into like, why is when the nervous system is dysregulated, this is very, very, very often because the body is holding on to a trauma, or because there is some type of environmental, physical thing happening as well. So here's where I want to get into a bit of the nuances that you probably haven't heard before, because this is really important. This is really important. And if you haven't already, I would just invite you to take a deep breath, because this is how we begin to get into a parasympathetic state so that we can receive information. And I really want your body, not just your mind, but your body, to understand and receive this information. Okay. So when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to dealing with the physical, it's very easy to just deal with the physical, to take a supplement, to take a pill, a pharmaceutical, and think that that is the solution. Now, we also know that diet can play a huge role in our mental health. We know this. So why is it then that many people know this and do not do it? Why is this the case? It's because everything is spiritual. Everything has an energetic component. When you release trauma, when you work with energy, when you recode the subconscious mind, you now first of all, want to take care of yourself. And second of all, you know how to take care of yourself. Because until this happens, you're going to be looking externally everywhere for the solutions when the solutions lie within you. Many people know how to take care of themselves, or they don't know how to take care of themselves because they're so dysregulated. But if you know how, many people know to eat healthy rather, and they're not doing it just because they're trying to numb out. And when you're in that dysregulated state, there are so many coping mechanisms to soothe: alcohol, food, drugs. And so it's no wonder that we have this abusive behavior of all of these substances and even benevolent things like working out and shopping and food. And like, when we use these to numb ourselves, this is what creates a perpetual state of not being able to heal. Okay. So I'm going to share for myself how this looked, because it's very easy for us to see, you know, when someone is dealing with their weight and overeats in order to numb the pain. Like, this is so common in our society. People know that they shouldn't eat whatever it is that they're eating, but they're doing it because it's providing them a sense of safety, a sense of not having to feel. They might not even know what they don't want to feel, but this is providing them with that comfort. And so until we truly heal the root, that behavior is going to continue to serve a purpose. Okay. So for me, how this looked for many years was, I've always eaten healthy, but I was not managing my blood sugar. Now, how this looked is I was doing like intermittent fasting and cleanses and all of these quote healthy things, these very benevolent things, right? And these can all be great things. Don't get me wrong. Intermittent fasting can be great for some people. Cleanses are great. It has to be done in the right energy at the right time for the right person in the right circumstances. And when you are balanced in your nervous system, you know. Okay. When I was not balanced in my nervous system, I didn't know. So I was grabbing onto things externally. It was like someone said, like I learned about in school, the benefits of, for those of you who don't know, I'm a nutritionist as well. I became a nutritionist because I know the importance of food as medicine, then became a hypnotherapist because I saw that thoughts and the subconscious mind and unconscious mind play such a great role in our health. And then energy healing and all of these things, that's expanded because it's so much more than just the physical. So as I learned about all of these things with eating and the benefits of fasting and of this diet and that diet, I love to try it all. If you're into human design, I'm a 3-5 projector. So I always have to try things. And I've tried all the diets at this point. And of course, some of them provided results and relief and whatever, but then why does everyone just go back after the diet is done? So for me, when I was doing intermittent fasting and I was like, well, this is really good. It creates autophagy for the cells and all of these things. But meanwhile, my nervous system was like, girlfriend, you need food. Like, you need something. But I just was like pushing it away because I was like, nope, like this is really good for my body. We're gonna like, and I was like the drill sergeant of my body of like, we're going to eat this, we're going to eat at these times. And rather than like learning to listen to my body, I knew at a deeper level that this wasn't good for my body. Why wasn't I listening to it? This is the body being stuck in dysregulation. Once I balanced my nervous system, which was through healing traumas and working with energy and working with the unconscious mind, all of a sudden it was very easy to listen to my body. And I was no longer the drill sergeant of my body, but rather the loving mother of my body and the caretaker of my body and the provider of my body, right? Because I learned that as I take care of this body and listen to her, rather than everything externally, she tells me. She tells me what she needs. Okay, and this doesn't mean that like there's the phase of dysregulation to becoming regulated to regulated, right? So like the goal is to not like drop everything and always tend to your body. Like we have lives to live. I get that. The goal is to, in that middle space, there's going to be some of that happening. But when you get to the regulated nervous system, now you're balanced. Now you are balanced and you're resilient. So you can go for longer periods of time without eating. You can go in these uncomfortable situations, like going into big crowded spaces that usually would dysregulate you. You can go into these circumstances with your family that would usually make you really anxious, right? So the goal is to get to the regulated and resilient. And this is a process, and for everyone, it's going to be individualized, okay? So when it comes to anxiety, it's often because of a dysregulated nervous system. However, there are two other really, really big causes. And the second one that is so important for all of my fellow sensitive souls is that it can be not yours. And this is so common. It's so common to, if you find yourself just like out of nowhere getting anxious, ask, is this mine? Is this mine? And just see what your body tells you. This is how I began to work with the anxiety that I was experiencing for many years. Of like, one of the biggest realizations for me in my health journey was learning that so much of what I was dealing with in my body wasn't even mine. It was literally just like a sponge picking up on everyone else's emotions. And it was through regulating my nervous system that I no longer did this. But it takes regulating your nervous system and healing, releasing whatever blocks and trauma are in the way, recoding the unconscious to no longer operate in that brainwave, in that parasympathetic state of fight or flight, to being in that of balance. And when that happens, you know it's not mine and I don't need to pick it up. As we grow and become more resilient, we no longer are a sponge for picking up other energies, okay? This doesn't mean we're blocked off to other energies, but we understand and navigate them more. So now when I work with clients, this is such a superpower for me. This is such a superpower because I know exactly what someone is feeling. I know exactly what someone is going through physically, emotionally. I feel it and sense it. This helps me heal. It helps me help them in their healing. However, the difference is that I don't take it on. And when I'm walking down the street, like, oh my goodness, years ago, I used to walk down the street and I just used to like download people's traumas. And that was intense. And so learning to manage this gift, it's a gift. It comes through regulating yourself so that you can actually truly be of the greatest service with this gift of heightened sensitivity. Okay. And then the last cause of anxiety. This is going to be a hard one for a few people to swallow, but I have to share it. I have to share it because I think it's unfortunately the case for a lot of people. And I have full chills right now because I know someone's going to hear this and it's going to be really hard because they know it at their core, but they don't know what to do. And that is that you are not living your mission. You're not living your mission. Oh, I'm getting so emotional because I know this is it's the case for so many people. And it's not because you don't want to, it's because you don't know how. You maybe don't know what it is yet. You don't know how or what to do or what the steps are to take. But if you're working a job that's not your mission, you're going to feel your soul is going to continue to nag at you louder and harder, and that is going to be through anxiety. And it's not because you're being punished. It's not because you've done anything wrong. Okay, so like no guilt here at all. But if you're not living your mission, the anxiety is going to continue to grow no matter how much you regulate your nervous system, no matter how much you release trauma, no matter how much work you do, it's going to be there. And you're going to get it down. Absolutely. You're going to get it down. And here's the really important part about living your mission that I want everyone to understand. If you took just this one thing, this could totally change your life. You simply being is your mission. Okay. So that's why your mission can look like a million different things. And I have a lot of thoughts about this and perspectives about this. And I do think it's going to be different for everyone. I think that some people are going to have a very specific mission that they're here to do in this lifetime. And if you're listening to this, like you are a light worker and a leader here for a mission in this lifetime. Some people's lifetimes, like they don't have like a really big thing that they're here to accomplish. Like they're literally just here to be the light and be and hold that light. For others, you're going to have like you're supposed to be doing something. You're supposed like there is a very direct or unique path that you're supposed to be walking. It's going to be different for everyone. So I think working with someone who can help you see and identify this and cultivate this and grow this and expand this is really important. It's really important. And so while and so when I also say this too, I don't want anyone to ever think like you've been doing anything wrong, because you haven't. No one teaches us. No one teaches us how to regulate our nervous system in school, or this is why our schooling system is crumbling, because we need to be teaching children manifestation, energy, how to work with their bodies, how to understand their bodies, where food comes from, how to work with the land, how to talk and be and live with Mother Earth, like all of these things. These are essential. Math and science can wait. That's my perspective. I'm becoming to have a greater understanding and appreciation for math and science as I learn it in a way that supports spirituality, not in a way that's like just numbers and equations. Anyways, that dysregulated my nervous system for many years. And I had to release that trauma. That was trauma for me, because I sat in school for hours and hours and hours with these professors trying to learn something that I wasn't good at. Do you know how long that caused a fight or flight in my body and a dysregulated nervous system from high school and college and even grad school, trying to like learn these things that I just was not meant to be good at? This is what's wrong with the education system, is we have strengths. We all have strengths. And so let's strengthen our strengths rather than make us feel like crap trying to build up our weakness. So anyways, that's a whole tangent. Living your mission though is really important, and there's a lot of ways to identify this. I help a lot of clients with this in multiple facets, whether it's through energy work or hypnotherapy, or showing reading their field and simply seeing it in the field and just telling them. There's a lot of ways, but and again, and I don't want people to think that it's like this big profound thing, and your mission can shift and change throughout your time. And so you perhaps maybe have been in your mission at a certain job, and now the mission has changed and evolved, especially right now. Like there are so many things happening on our planet. Like we need more people to assist in this huge change and of ascension and growth. So your mission might be shifting and changing, and maybe that's why you're experiencing more anxiety right now. That might be why. So as we close, I want to share a few things that like you can do right now to release and calm your anxiety until you do the deeper work. Okay. And the very first, like I shared, is going to be balancing your blood sugar. This means if you are really anxious, if you're dealing with any type of chronic health issue, taking care of your blood sugar is going to be one of the most important things. And I believe something that, oh my goodness, we are not doing as a society. This means eating protein and fat to balance your blood sugar. Okay. This doesn't mean no carbs, but prioritizing protein and fat, eating those first, starting with vegetables, starting with protein, starting with fat, and then having carbs. I don't follow her, and I haven't read, but I know that Glucose Goddess has been really big recently, so perhaps look into her. And I know that that's something she talks about, which is kind of funny because I've always intuitively eaten in that order. Again, this is dealing with the physical, and many of you know how to deal with the physical, but maybe not in this nuanced of a way. And so doing this deeper work with someone like myself or someone else so that you actually want to take care of your body in this way is going to be really important. And then the other things that I'm going to share are just like taking time every day, be in nature, grounding, putting your feet on the earth, I'm like, every time my mom texts me and she's like, something's going on, like whatever, I'm like, go ground. Okay. Adequate water and hydration. This means adding minerals to your water, drinking clean water, purifying your water. It's going to help you feel not anxious. And deep breathing, breath work. Funny story. There's this woman at a co-op at the coast, and I randomly overheard what she was saying. She works there. I randomly overheard what she was saying. And she was talking about a mushroom journey that she did and how it told her to come back to the breath. And I was like, and like spirit was like, you need to tell her about breath work. And I was like, I feel like I'm over like eavesdropping. The spirit was like, nope, talk to her. So I did. And I was like, have you ever tried breath work? She's like, no, what's that? Got her into it. And now every time I see her, I'm like, so how's your breath work going? And she's like, you've saved me from so many panic attacks. So that's kind of cool. So anyways, breath work can really help. And somatic work, just like anything that gets you into your body. And so taking time to just like take some deep breaths throughout your day. This is such an easy, simple thing to do, and we just don't do it so often. Now, if you've had chronic anxiety, like you're going to need more than that. But these things can just help like ease it a little bit, okay? Because I don't want you suffering and struggling for one more minute, one more second. So until you do this deeper work, do these things, and this alone like can totally shift and change a lot. So start with these, and then when you're ready for the deeper work, like it is time, my friend, it is time. I just keep receiving this message over and over and over. Like we all got shit to do, okay? We have help. Like we need to be helping others who are still asleep. We need to be aiding in this ascension of the collective and growing and expanding. And it's so important now more than ever. So with that, if you enjoy this episode, please take a screenshot, share it on social media. Please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. And if you are on the podcast, please leave a review. It would mean so much to me. And just share this episode. So with that, my loves, I'm sending you all infinite love.